Alright, here's the deal, y'all. I'm tired as shit. I had to wake up early these past 2 days. Today was very busy at work. And I gotta wake up early for tomorrow, too. So why am I even doing this? Well, with Pokemon Bank shutting down in 6 months from now, it's only a matter of time before Pokemon Home also shuts down. And I cannot move this Shiny Alpha Mime Jr. into Legend ZA anymore. So, I didn't manage to do too many. I did like 2 or 3. I did like 38 and 39. Oop, let me close this. I think I did manage to do 40 successfully, but, you know, it didn't work out. And also, for some reason, number 41. I did this actually a good number of times. But for some reason, only 2 remained after. Like, I know for a fact, every time, 2 ran away on 2 separate occasions. But then, I don't know why. There's supposed to be 4, but always 2 remain. So I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, so let's move on. Let's try a different section, okay? Let's try a different chunk. Let's try here. Okay, you can't see my mouse on screen. That's good. Let's try starting at number 47. So catch 3, and then we'll work from there. So, there's some bit of news to talk about. Most importantly, D23 happened. And, well, we have announced our new X-Men cast. Or at least some of the cast. This isn't going to be the full team. But we do have some official announcements. Okay, so catch 3. Oops, hold on. I'm gonna fly away so that they're all closer together. Okay, so we already knew about Sadie Sink. Sadie Sink playing Jean Grey. We already knew about Samara Weaving playing Emma Frost. And it was heavily rumored, but not confirmed yet until today, that yes, Kit Connors will be our new Cyclops. Once again, screw this guy, because he gets to hook up with Sadie Sink and Samara Weaving. But on top of saying screw this guy, screw also whoever will play Gambit after Channing Tatum, because playing Rogue, we have Indy Navarrete. Yo, this is like godly casting right here. Everyone was thinking she may play Mystique. I saw the vision for that, but I'm not gonna lie. I see the vision. I see the vision for her playing Rogue. I see it. Yo, this is like phenomenal casting right here. I think 1 ran away just now. Okay, let me check. Let's see, so it was catch 3, then scared off 2. So that's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's not right. Anyway, so we also got Christopher Abbott, I don't know who this guy is, as Charles Xavier. I don't think I've seen anything Christopher Abbott has been in. we also are getting Maya Boyd as Storm, who I believe, just based on everyone else saying this online, is a theater actress making her big screen debut with this project. So she's very much unknown. This is going to be like her first film project, which I'm for it. Yeah. And lastly, we have Adam Driver playing Magneto. Oh, sorry. Mr. Sinister. Perfect casting, by the way. So, yo, this X-Men reboot looks fantastic. Maybe I shouldn't have said fantastic. It looks amazing. It looks excellent. And, you know, this X-Men movie is looking hot. Because the cast is hot. Pause when it comes to the guys, you know, no homo. But when it comes to the ladies, yes, this X-Men cast is hot. Yeah, screw whoever is going to be cast as Gambit. Because not only were people going, it should have been me, when Cyclops was cast, people are also going, it should have been me, not him, when it comes to Gambit's casting. So whoever is cast as Gambit, fuck you. Alongside Kit Connors, fuck you both. This is some universal greed right here, some generational greed. You two are keeping all the baddies to yourself. You know, I actually thought about something. How funny would it be if, now that we know Indy Navarrete is playing Rogue, how funny would it be if Rogue hooked up with Harley Keener from Iron Man 3? The only reason I say this is because a picture with Indy Navarrete was posted was seemingly Ty Simpkins, the guy who played Harley Keener in Iron Man 3. It's like, damn. Lucky bastard. Anyway, so caught 3, 4 ran away, so there should be 3. You know, sometimes when I get 4 to run away successfully, I'm noticing that it just doesn't work. So maybe I should avoid any that have, you know, scare off 4. Yeah, see? Because you saw 4 got scared off. There should be 3 remaining, but there's 4. It just kind of seems like I cannot do any that need 4 to be gotten rid of. But if it ever happens, I'll still give it a try. So that was the big news when it came to Marvel at D23. Hilariously enough, we also got Hugh Jackman making a video for the X-Men cast announcements. You know, this looks promising. This, of course, won't be the full cast, though. There's still, a couple of major characters missing. It almost seems like, from what I heard online, I heard this idea thrown out there. It seems like what they're doing is they're doing First Class, but just with Storm included. So if that's the case, we're still missing the casting for Angel, we're still missing the casting for Darwin, but we're also still missing the official casting announcements for Beast. I forget the dude's name who was rumored to play him. Supposedly he is, like, in and out of playing the character. But yeah, this X-Men cast looking great. Alright, so D23, a couple of other projects that were announced. We got Well, I wasn't there, so I had to rely on some leaked cell phone footage. We got the trailer reveal for Frozen 3. The film looks good. It looks at the very at the very bright side, it looks the same animation style and quality as the first two Frozen films. So that's good. Man, I saw this art floating around, which at the time may or may not have been real, but now we know it's not real. Potentially them changing the art style for the third film. I'm glad they did not. You know, the characters look good. Elsa looks hot with her new color dress. Man, I thought this when I was a... I thought this when I was watching the first film as... Geez, how old was I as watching the first film? When did the first film come out? I thought this when I was watching the first film. Elsa's hot. Anna's beautiful too, but Elsa, just something else about her. Anyway, so the Frozen 3 trailer seems like it follows right after Anna and Sven's wedding, to where they need to go overseas or whatever, and then we're introduced to a new villain for the film, but we don't see the face of this character. Maybe a woman who controls butterflies? By the looks of it. I've seen people throw this idea around. It's like maybe a third long-lost sister who their parents had overseas. I mean, there is a theory that Tarzan is their long-lost brother. It's just a theory, though. Okay, let's try 3 running away. So, scare off 3, catch 3. There's... Wait, no. Catch 3, scare off 3. So now there should be... yeah, there should be 4. Also at D23, which... Oh, by the way, before I continue... remember how I watched Frozen 2 for the first time 4 years after it came out? And that alone was already a couple years ago? So, like, how long has it been since the second film? How long has it been since the first film? Look, I know animation takes a long time, but not this long! Unless what I see in the movie better be visually stunning and, like, an absolute marvel when it comes to 3D animation. It's like, what the hell took you guys so long? Like, we know you planned a third film. Like, this wasn't a third film that you were questioning if you would get greenlit. Like, we know you were planning a third film. Anyways, let me go double check. So yeah, how long has it been since the second film? How long has it been since the first film? Okay, let me see. Catch 3, scare off 3. So is there only 4? Yeah, there's only 4, so this one worked. I can check that off. That was this one. So if we scare off 2... Yeah, let's just hope we can scare off 2, because we already tried 4, but it didn't work. Also, announced at D23, Incredibles 3. I don't think we got a trailer? Or maybe we did, I don't know. I just know we got announced Incredibles 3. Damn, can you believe we waited this long since Incredibles 2, which came out in 2018? That was... holy shit, 8 years ago? Like, 8 years since the second film. I mean, if anything, it's better than the release window between 1 and 2. Incredibles 1 came out in 2004. It took 14 years for them to make a sequel. But, you know, you're getting close. We're already 8 years since the second film. Just another 6, and you'll already meet the same amount of time we waited between the first 2 films. You know, I grew up watching The Incredibles, and I always wanted a sequel to that film. And then we got the sequel. And I'm not gonna lie, I only saw the sequel once. I've only watched Incredibles 2 one time, and it's like, anyone else feel like it was kind of underwhelming? Like, it was just kind of meh? Wasn't anything too special besides Elastigirl's ass? Anyone else feel like the second film was just like, eh? And I hear that the third film is going to focus more on the kids instead of the parents. The kids are going to prove that they are indeed worthy and capable to be superheroes on their own. I kind of feel like it's a little bit early for that storyline, since I believe they announced that this film will have no time jump since the second, so it's going to take place immediately after. Which means that, okay, Violet can do that. Violet can prove herself, because she's, you know, she's a teenager. But Dash, he's still a kid, like a very young kid, and Jack's a damn baby. What the hell you mean they're going to prove themselves capable of becoming their own independent superheroes? Anyways, Incredibles 2. What? Incredibles 3! I got confused because they also announced Coco 2. And a collab with Kingdom Hearts 4. I'll be honest, I don't really care. I never watched the first Cocos, and I don't really care to. But the collab with Kingdom Hearts 4 is cool. I needed to double check if what I just caught was 5. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else from D23 announced that I actually care about? Catch 3, Scared Off 2, so that's 5. 6, 7, 8, 9. No, that's 9. That didn't work. I knew that I knew it didn't feel like I caught 5. Okay, if for nothing else, let's get on to the trailers that came out. We got a brand new Avengers Doomsday trailer and a trailer for Vision Quest. Can you believe that show? Like, radio silence on it for years. But, you know, the trailers, they look good. They look very good. The one for Doom, this was super leaked ahead of time, and because nobody these days can tell if a leak online is real or not thanks to AI, nobody knew if it was real or not. But now that this trailer came out, yeah, that leaked footage was super real. So we have Vanessa Kirby's Sue Storm pretty much telling everyone that I knew Victor. We knew Victor before. He was kind, he was caring, until he lost everything, and now he's different. I already saw people picking apart what she said, like, I knew he was lost, but I didn't know he was broken. It's like, no shit, he's broken! The fuck? We also see Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards, you know, screaming at Victor Von Doom like, Victor, did you do this? Answer me, Victor, did you do this? We have Thor vowing that Doom will experience hell long before he delivers it. What did he say? And then we get that scene where Doom just stops Stormbreaker with 2 fingers and just flicks it off. And I've also been seeing a lot of meme shots of Thor just contemplating, like, we are screwed. This is the Avengers team I have to work with. Or there's also a caption like, when the new Avengers say we need more bullets to shoot at Doom with. I think this one worked. This one looks like 5. But the highlight is the end of the trailer where, yes, Doom does indeed revive a bunch of Sentinels. Like, that shot that looked very AI these past couple of months is real. There was also a shot of Doom jumping out of a building, and I saw people slow down the footage, and it looks like, instead of him jumping out, he was actually knocked out by Mjolnir. Doom was actually flung out of the building, but still managed to land on his feet, turn around and land on his feet. So Avengers Doomsday, it looks awesome! But it's the Vision Quest trailer I really want to talk about. So this is going to be the third and final installment in the quote-unquote WandaVision trilogy. Let's see, catch 3, 1, 2, 3, then scare off 2, so that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, this one worked. So I can mark this one off. Oops. That being this. So we see what Vision has been doing these past couple years. He's been working at, like, a motel, a bar, in I don't remember where. The lady that he's working with says, you used to come around with that redhead all the time. And I think where Vision is I can't exactly remember the location. In Infinity War, when Corvus Glaive and Proxima Midnight went after Wanda and Vision, they were overseas. I can't remember exactly where they were, but I think that's where Vision is. So, every night, Vision locks himself in the back storage. He goes from human skin to Vision, to white Vision skin. He just shuts off, and then inside his digital mind is where a majority of the show takes place. I'm not gonna lie, this trailer looks really good. So inside of his mind, we see a bunch of human NPCs. Oh my god, I need to catch one more. I need to catch one more of you. Okay, now I'm gonna wait for you to stop running. Don't run towards me. Actually, I feel like you're close enough. I can just scare you off. Okay, didn't I already do 3? I'm pretty sure I can scare off 3... No, I can't. I was gonna say scare off 3 and then scare off some more. No, I already did this one. Shit. Well, you know what? Maybe it's fine, because I can wait for them to stop running, and then just reload them. So, most importantly, what I find fascinating is that in this Vision Quest trailer, we see the return of James Darcy. He plays Edwin Jarvis, the original Jarvis in the MCU, who inspired Tony Stark's AI, Jarvis, who was Vision previously, before becoming Vision. God damn it, that's 3 again. Oh my god, what the hell? So this is now the second time they brought back James Darcy to play Edwin Jarvis in the MCU. The first time being in Avengers Endgame. And I thought, alright, that was already amazing. They actually brought him back from the TV show to reprise his character for a quick cameo. But now they brought him back again! This is wonderful! Yo, Marvel Studios, if you really want to, soft canonize some ABC TV shows, why don't you bring over a character from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? You know what I'm saying? If you're willing to bring back James Darcy from the Agent Carter show, why not bring someone back from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Come on, let's make it happen. You know what the sad part is? After Secret Wars, there's like no point in bringing anyone back from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You still could. You could bring back like Fitz, and he could reference something that happened in the show, but like Secret Wars will reboot everything. It's like, And I just know if that happens, if after Secret Wars and an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. character does pop up, people are going to say, well, now the show is canon to post-Secret Wars timeline, not the MCU timeline beforehand. It's like, shut the fuck up. Anyways, what was I doing? How many got scared off there? I think 2 got scared off, and I need to scare off another 2. Anyways, not only do we see Edwin Jarvis return inside of Vision's mind, we also see Friday. We see Dummy. Dummy, at least his somewhat AI, returns from the first few Iron Man movies, and also he was in Spider-Man Homecoming. Hold on, if I scared off 2, then scared off 2... yeah, there should be 3. So I think this worked. Yo, what's up? So we have Jarvis, we have Friday, we have Dummy, and we have U. Literally just the letter U. Am I tripping, or who is you? Like, am I tripping balls? Who is you? Why do I not recall some sort of character named just the letter U? Like, am I tripping? Like, who is you? Anyways, I'm gonna say that worked. Even though we didn't catch them all, we did scare it off, but that still counts, so I'm gonna mark that off. So that was this one. You is you. And of course, we also see the return of Ultron. But sadly, based on the trailer, I bet you this is going to be the case for majority of the show. Ultron, we see him in the trailer briefly in his CGI robotic form, which I'm not gonna lie, looks very good. Looks extremely good. That CGI looks incredible. Especially in the bright daylight settings. That CGI Ultron looks stunning. But sadly, to save on the budget, they're gonna turn Ultron into human form. Come in, James Spader. I'm not gonna lie. Ultron human does not look like what I thought he would look like. He's short, he's bald, he has a huge beard. Like, no offense to James Spader, the actor who's portraying his character in live action, or just like human. But like, I just did not expect Ultron to look like that in human form. You know, Vision looking human looks still like Paul Bettany. But you kind of can't help it when it comes to Ultron. He's all CGI. So yeah, kind of didn't expect Ultron to look like that. Anyways, what was I doing now? So I still need to scare off 2, then try for 3. If 4 happens, then I'll give it a try, but I'm not counting on it working. Don't see me, don't see me, don't see me, don't see me. Good. So anyways, the storyline for Vision Quest looks like... Well, first of all, Vision isn't even sure of who he is anymore. Ever since Thanos ripped out the Mind Stone, Vision... Well, think about it through Vision's perspective. Vision died. He was brought back by Sword. And then he doesn't know who he is anymore. For the past few years, he's just been living here. Inside the back storage of a motel. It looks like. And he even sees, like, actual footage of the movies, the shows. Like, he sees the footage of himself during Age of Ultron. He sees WandaVision. Okay, 4 actually did run away, so let's give it a try. And it seems like the main plot of this show is going to be him helping his son, Tommy Maximoff. We already saw Billy Maximoff in Agatha All Along. They hinted at Tommy still being out there. Wait, did that work? Hold on. Yeah, it looks like it worked because there was 1 remaining. Why did it work there? But not any other time. You know what? I shouldn't complain. Getting 4 to work at once is like the hardest one yet. Or the hardest thing to do. Whoa, did my character just jump and turn around? Neat. Anyway, so we can mark that off. We also get a shot in the trailer of Vision looking more classic. Not as classic as his, you know, macho costume in WandaVision, but this one looking more like just comic Vision with the gold cape collar thing. So this show actually looks awesome. And in a way, sadly... Oh, also we got a shot of the villain who looks like Paladin in the trailer. I think that's who that character is. Sadly, Vision Quest seems to be the last original live-action Disney Plus Marvel show we will ever get, if not for quite a long time. Not counting Daredevil Born Again, and, you know, shows like X-Men 97 and Spider-Man, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Those are animated. It does seem like Marvel is moving away from making live-action original Disney Marvel... What? From making original Marvel Disney Plus streaming series. They didn't announce anything at D23, which tells a lot, actually. Now, if they kept on releasing good shows, like the way this one looks, actually interesting and good-looking shows, then this wouldn't be a problem. But your problem is, Marvel and Disney, y'all kept releasing shitty shows that nobody cared about. Kinda like She-Hulk. Kinda like Echo. Kinda like Ironheart. And when you had shows that should have had huge potential, like Secret Invasion, you guys completely fucked it up. If you kept on releasing good shows like this, well, by the looks of this, then we wouldn't be in this problem. Anyway, so if 3 got scared off there... No, there's nothing for me to do here. Well, I'm already this deep in. Maybe if I scare off, like, a random whatever. You know what? What happens if I scare off one? Actually, yeah. What happens if I scare off one? Anyway, so Vision Quest. Looks good. Looks interesting. Of course I'll be checking it out. I check out all these Marvel shows, regardless of how shitty they are. And yes, I did sit through all of Secret Invasion. All of Ironheart. All of She-Hulk. And yes, they all were very bad. Let me think. Anything else? Anything else? I think in terms of D23, that's it. Or at least that's all that I care about. Oh, guys, check this out. Oh shit, I didn't even put the pictures up. Wait, hold on. You're gonna have to see me very clumsily put the pictures in and then zoom out. Okay, check this out. Earlier today, my friend went to a yard sale. Boop. See, it's a good thing I put those black bars there to censor it all. Just gonna slowly, you know, shrink this down. Oops, not the screen. Yeah, I forgot to put this up. My bad. This is a big picture. There we go. And let me just expand this. There we go. Move this to the... Oops. Move this to the middle. There we go. Let's try that again. So, today, a friend of mine went to a yard sale, and take a look at all these goodies. Now, hold on. What is that I see over there? Hold on. Wait. Zoom in, enhance. I should probably stop this. That is very much zoomed in, but if I move this a little bit, what is that I see? Zoom in, enhance. Is that what I think it is? Do my eyes deceive me, or is that Smash Melee? And yes, indeed, that was Smash Melee. Thankfully, my friend hit me up, like, yo, I'm at a yard sale right now, you see anything you want? And so I analyzed the pictures top to bottom, seeing if there's anything I may want. And I spotted that hidden gem. Like, wait a second. Is that what I see it is? Is that Smash Melee? And it is! It is Smash Melee. That was the first thing I asked him to help me get. How much? You might be wondering? $40. $40! Yo, that's a steal! Hell yes, I'll take it! Aw. Why did the music end in like an epic fashion there? $40 for Smash Melee. Yes! Hell yes! Listen, folks, listen. Smash Melee goes for minimum $80 online. And this whole debacle right now with physical and digital media. So, whoever he was buying from, these people at the yard sale, first of all, if this was just someone's grandma selling their grandkids' collection without the grandkids knowing, first of all, fuck that person. I don't care. They selling Smash Melee for $40, I'm taking it! Anyway, so, he got a look at the disc. Sure, there were a couple of scratch marks, but he was reassured that the game does work. The game does play. And you have to keep this in mind, folks. Smash Melee, first of all, only was ever physical, right? It has never come out digital. And second of all, because it's only physical, the game has been out of print for like 25 years. So finding a brand new sealed physical copy, that's impossible. That's not happening. So obviously the next best thing is just to find a physical copy that works and for a reasonable price. Right? That's literally the best option nowadays. There is no finding a new copy. New copies just don't exist out there. At least certainly not for 40 bucks. So $40 for Smash Melee? That works? Yes! Yes! And I want you guys to keep this in mind. I, in my lifetime, only played Smash Melee, I'd say like, maybe 3 times total. Look, I never had a GameCube growing up. Meaning, I never even had the game. The only reason I ever played the game is because I believe back in first grade. First grade. I don't know how this arrangement happened. My sister knew someone back then, like knew a friend of hers in school back then. Back then, if I was in first grade, my sister would have been in 6th grade. Back then, my sister had this arrangement with like a friend of hers who I don't even remember the name of. I don't know if they keep in touch anymore. Where after school, we would ride with him in the bus to his house, which is not that far away. We wait there for like, I don't remember, half an hour, I don't remember. And then eventually his mom will come home and then drive us home. And I think that arrangement only happened for like, I don't even remember. I can't remember if it only happened like from time to time or if it happened the entirety of the first grade. I don't think it happened the entirety of first grade. So every now and then we would do that. Every now and then we would go to this dude's house and, you know, once in a while he would be nice enough to boot up his GameCube, play Melee, like him playing it, and then on extremely rare occasions, rarer than this shiny I'm hunting, he would hand me the controller like, hey, you want to play? And that's the story of how I played Smash Melee for only like 3 times in my whole life. I don't have a GameCube, I don't have the game, or at least I didn't until today. So you might be asking, well, if you don't have a GameCube, how are you going to play the game? Well, the Wii is backwards compatible with GameCube games. I do have a Wii, so I'm really hoping that, fingers crossed, the game actually works on my Wii. If not, well, then I either wasted 40 bucks or I now have a physical game I can't even play. But you know what? My friend who helped me buy this, he does have a GameCube. So maybe I could just, like, go over to his place, be like, yo, man, you want to hang out? You really just want to use my GameCube, don't you? Yes. You know me so well. Okay, so this clearly didn't work. I'm supposed to have 2 remaining, but now there's only 1. Anyway, so at the yard sale, I scanned through all the pictures he sent me, and that was not the only game I had him help me buy. Like, if you look at these pictures real quick, I know it's gonna be hard to see, but if you zoom in, look at the picture on the left, kind of like middle left of the picture on the left. You see that? I can't even point. That looks like a Detective Pikachu copy. That looks like a copy of Detective Pikachu Returns on Switch. So I asked him, is that Detective Pikachu? How much does it cost? And is the game sealed? Look, something about secondhand games, like used games for Switch, being a risk, because like if someone did something to it and then you stick it to your console, Nintendo could flag it and then your console could get bricked. That's why when it comes to buying Switch games, goddamn you Nintendo, I aim for sealed copies. And Detective Pikachu Returns, I never bought or played the first Detective Pikachu, but I did watch gameplay, and I got really invested in the story. Detective Pikachu 2, I actually have yet to look up the story. And aside from that, I just see no one talk about the game. It doesn't help that the Detective Pikachu sequel movie is in development hell. You know, it's probably canceled, but just not announced publicly, because they're too ashamed. And also, buying Detective Pikachu Returns, not only is the game mad expensive, I checked it out, it's selling for like $69.99 now. I'm not spending $70 for Detective Pikachu, especially when Detective Pikachu is a game that really warrants one playthrough, and that's it. Detective Pikachu has like no replayability value, so that's why I never wanted to buy the game. Unless it was a very good deal. So yes, that Detective Pikachu was sealed, new, and $20. $20. It is a Japanese copy, but it should be playable in English. If not, then, well, honestly, it's not that big a deal. He did send me a different picture, a very blurry picture, of which I don't have to show you. And it showed Pokemon Ruby and Pokemon Emerald. Look at the picture on the right. You see that gray bin on the table with the little plastic cartridges? Yeah, that one had Ruby and Emerald. I got so excited. I'm just like, holy shit, man, you just walked into a gold mine. But sadly, the owners, like the people selling, said that those cartridges were fake. And they were $5 each. And I'm just like, oh man, it was too good to be true. Either they really were fake, or they themselves realized what a gold mine they were selling. Like, what a treasured value they were selling, and they didn't want to sell it anymore. It's like, oh yeah, it's fake. $5. I could have gambled it. I could have asked him to buy the $5 cartridges, and it turned out to be real. But like that's too good to be true in this world. So if you look at the picture on the left, look at the DS games, the stack of DS games, you'll notice Mario Kart DS. Ooh. Mario Kart DS was my childhood Mario Kart. And I don't know where my copy is anymore. So I asked him how much for that. Said $10. He did open the box and show me the cartridge. It does look rather old. But you know, so is the game. The game's like over 20 years old. And finally, you guys can't see it, but you see on the right picture that black box on the table next to the yellow fake-ass Game Boy or Game Boy Color or whatever. So that black box contained DS cartridges. And he sent me a picture of the cartridges separately. So inside that box contained games like Sonic Racing for the DS, Kingdom Hearts for the 3DS, Fire Emblem for the 3DS, Mario 3D Land for 3DS, some game I can't even read because the picture's too blurry. But then, ooh, one game caught my eye. And that game is Kirby Superstar Ultra for the DS. I had him buy me that too. So far, he helped me buy Smash Melee, Mario Kart DS, Detective Pikachu Returns, and Kirby Superstar Ultra. All in all, $90. Look, folks, even one of these games on eBay would rack me up like $60 minimum. Okay, maybe that's an exaggeration, maybe 50. So 4 of these old-ass games for $90? It's like, shit, I'll e-transfer you right the fuck now. he eventually texted me back like, alright, I'm gonna buy you Smash Melee, and I think he said the Mario Kart game, and you just send me back $40 because it's your birthday, or it's your birthday coming up. And I'm just like, aw, thanks, bro. I really appreciate that. I already e-transferred you. Yeah, he actually helped me buy some of the games for my birthday. Love you, bro. Appreciate you. Anyway, so today, basically, I got myself a copy of Smash Melee, Kirby Superstar Ultra, Mario Kart DS, and Detective Pikachu Returns for the Nintendo Switch. Japanese copy. What a day. And I'm also sure by now you guys heard that Pokemon Bank servers are shutting down. February 25th, I think I got the date wrong when I talked about this previously. So February 25th, 6 months from now, that's how long we have Pokemon Bank left. And I'm just thinking, oh shit, there's actually a couple things I think I want to do before Bank servers shut down. Now, I won't be able to do everything I want, but I can at least salvage some. So some things I think I want to do is create a living dex for both Generation 6 and 7. Because Pokemon from Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon cannot transfer back. They cannot go backwards to X and Y or Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. So I need 2 separate living dexes. In case I ever want to... You forgot about the Pokemon cards at the garage sale? Man, who the hell cares about that? There was this, like, Hold on, let me send you the picture. There was this, like, I don't know what it is. Let me see, was it this picture? Yo, man, the picture I just sent you, look at the very left of it. Some EX battle deck with a Lucario card on it. Some sort of box. I don't know what that was. Anyway, so I may want to create a living dex for both Generation 6 and 7. In case I ever replay those games and I want to shiny hunt something, so I need the shiny charm. Which means, yes, I will need to painstakingly trade over all the Pokemon. Like 600 to 700 times. With Pokemon Bank, I could just move them all quickly. But with that not being the case, well, sacrifices must be made. Anyways, whoops, that's the wrong one. This one. I don't need 3, I need 2. So, there's also a couple of shiny hunts I may want to do before Bank goes down. One of them being Spinda. Because with BDSP, you can catch shiny Spinda in that game, but some sort of stupid coding error. BDSP Spinda cannot go into home, and vice versa. Spinda in home cannot go into BDSP. It's stupid. But we have nothing we can do about it. So the only way for me to get a Spinda shiny into home is to hunt it on the 3DS and send it over. Another thing pointed out, which I didn't know for the longest time, Alolan Rattata. Yes, you can get it in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. That's the only game you can get them in on Switch. But that's an in-game trade, so you cannot get it shiny with your original trainer. So to get it with your original trainer, either shiny hunt it in the Sun and Moon games, or transfer it from Pokemon Go, if you want it shiny with your OT. I might just do that. Now, this is something that I probably do not have enough time to do, especially if I'm going to do all the things I just said. Shiny Unknown. Specifically from Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. I could, but it's like, well, the chances of me getting all the Unknown Shiny, well, the chances of that get lower and lower with each Unknown I get, right? It'll eventually come to a point where I have 25 out of 26 Shiny, and that one last Shiny I need, that's going to take me a very long time. It's like, okay, if I don't do all of them, then maybe I can Shiny Hunt one specific Unknown to send over. But that's the same thing! Me going for one specifically, then that's also going to take long. Because I have the Shiny odds multiplied by 1 out of... Did I say 26? It's 28. And even if I did do that, I would go for a Shiny Unknown letter A. So, Unknown probably not happening. For fuck's sake, Mr. Mime. And everything else that the internet is warning you to do before it's too late, I already did. Things like 2 Poiples, 2 Type Nulls, the shiny Hat Pikachu. What else? And, you know, things that are reasonable. So, like the shiny Manaphy, I don't have access to that. The shiny level 1 Dialga, Palkia, or Giratina from Heart Gold, Soul Silver, I don't have access to that. You know, things that I could do. That I actually have the resources to get done, I've already done. Now, here's actually one I've been thinking of. Do I even want to transfer this? Or do I want to keep it as is? And keeping it as is a dangerous game to play. Oh my god, all 4 ran away. I need 3. So the dangerous game is my shiny Suicune from Crystal Virtual Console. Because if I send it, that's kind of a good thing. It'll be preserved, it can move into future games, but it'll be out of its own native game, right? If I don't move it, well, there's more cons than pros. It'll be stuck to Crystal forever. Because no Poke Transporter, no bank, it is stuck in Crystal forever. And because Crystal was a virtual console, maybe access to it could be revoked at any point. I don't think that's the case because I paid for it, I downloaded it. Even if I lose it, I should be able to re-download it. But you never know with companies these days, right? If I ever somehow lose permanent access to it, well, that shiny Suicune is gone. Well, something already messed up here. So yeah, do I transfer up my shiny Suicune from my Crystal Virtual Console? Yes, I shiny hunted Celebi, but I already transferred those up. One is in my Ultra Moon, which I plan to keep it in there. But I already hunted for 2, or was it 3? I don't remember. Minimum 2 other shiny What? I already hunted for minimum 2 other shiny Celebes from the Crystal Virtual Console. And I already sent them to Pokemon Home. Right? And I even went one step further, caught a Celebi in that game to use in my living decks, because, you know, Pokeballs only, and my OT only. So I've already done all that. I don't really care to do Deoxys 4 times. Play through Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire 4 times to get all 4 Deoxys. I don't really care to do that. I already have a bunch of Deoxys in my Pokemon Home transferred from Pokemon Go because they all had shitty IVs. So it's like, I don't really care to do that. Yes, they would be in a regular Pokeball, and yes, they would not have the ugly G stamp on it, but still, I don't really care. But with Transporter and Pokemon Bank going down, there are two things that I wanted to eventually continue hunting. But, like, even if I pick up the hunt again now, I don't think I'll have enough time in 6 months to get what I want. The first one being Shiny Graveler in Diamond in a Master Ball, specifically caught in Victory Road. I don't think I have time to do that, even if I start now. Because you don't need me to tell you Victory Road has multiple spawns besides Graveler, and I'm not even guaranteed that when a shiny does show up, it's Graveler. And more heartbreakingly, what? My idea, I guess idea is the best way to phrase it. My idea of shiny hunting, what the fuck? My idea of shiny hunting Kyogre, Groudon, and Rayquaza in either Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, or Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and transferring them. What the fuck is wrong with that? What? That Mime Jr. Shiny hunting Kyogre, Groudon, and Rayquaza from either Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, or Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Shiny hunting them in those games and transferring them up into Pokemon X and Y. Now, why would I do that? Because there's no other way to get those 3 shiny in that game, legitimately. First of all, they're all shiny locked in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, so you can't do that. Ultra Sun and Moon? Well, what did I say earlier? Gen 7 cannot transfer backwards to Generation 6. So, the only way to get shiny Kyogre, Groudon, Rayquaza into Pokemon X and Y is to hunt them in an older game and transfer them up. But without Transporter, without Pokemon Bank, that becomes impossible. So it will become impossible to get those 3 legendary shiny into X and Y legitimately moving forward. Unless you trade for them. Unless someone actually did this and you trade for that. So that dream is dead. Not only do I not have physical cartridges for any of those games, I also don't have time. I don't think 6 months would be enough to hunt all 3. Even if I had the cartridge in my hands right now. So that dream is dead. And before you say, maybe one day they can re-release X and Y digitally, and you can use Pokemon Home or whatever at the time storage system, and you can just move them in there. It's like, well, yeah, but that's not the same. The old 3DS physical cartridge will never have them in there. At least mine never will. Not unless I, hack them in. Gonna count that as 3. So yeah, those 2 dreams are dead. At least in the meantime, I should be able to manage 2 living Dexes, 2 shiny Alolan Rattatas, 1 for Raticate, and a shiny Spinda. I should be able to do those. But the question is, when? Because I'm busy doing this, and this takes up my time. Now, this won't take up 6 months of my time, unless it does, actually. Nope. I'm supposed to have 2 remaining. Oh, what? Did it look like Mr. Mime had 2 screens up just now? Man, you know what I've been trying to hunt on my own time? Same thing, I've been trying to complete my regional forms and evolutions. Shiny Alpha challenge in Legend ZA. I am now only missing a Shiny Alpha of Alolan Meowth, Galarian Meowth, and Galarian Stunfisk. I know, the Meowths would have been like the first thing to do. Man, I've been trying to find Galarian Stunfisk. It is rare. That's what I've been trying to hunt for on my own time. You know. On and off, more off than on, when I know I really should be focusing on Mime Jr. instead. Oh, by the way, because I got a new phone the other day, I've been playing Pokemon Go on my new phone, and it runs amazingly. The game actually functions. Pokemon Go has run like dog shit on my old phone for years. That's because my old phone was extremely outdated. I used my previous phone for 9 years. And for multiple years, Pokemon Go has been running like absolute dog shit on it. But I still just put up with it. I still endured the garbage gameplay quality. Now that I'm playing on my new phone, it actually runs. The game actually functions. You know how quickly I would play on my old phone and encounter a bug, a glitch, that permanently just destroys the game and I need to reload? It happens so often. A normal person would not even put up with it. A normal person would just quit the game. Like, that's how often the game would break on me. A normal person would just quit the game. But I stuck with it. I stuck through Pokemon Go's horrendous quality on my old phone because I'm a goddamn G. Now that I have a new phone, the game actually functions. Alright, so get rid of 2. That's 3! I'm running out of time. I should get talking about Dead City, remember that? Because I am so late to discussing this episode. Episode 3 of Season 3. Episode 4 comes out tomorrow. I also thought that I would have Lanterns to discuss today because I've been seeing a lot of early reviews. So I thought the show was out, but no. It turns out the show's out tomorrow from me playing this. Well, that makes sense. What I was seeing was early reviews. So yeah, I thought I would have Lanterns to talk about today as well, but no. No, so I'll have Lanterns to talk about next time, along with Dead City. And, you know what, speaking of DC, we did get some unfortunate DC news in comparison to Marvel's awesome announcements. It seems like projects like Waller and Paradise Lost are cancelled. DC Studios is no longer moving forward with those projects. It's like, what the fuck are y'all doing over there at DC Studios? James Gunn, you know we love you, but what are you doing? Look, we know what happened, right? You said that you would announce something, I believe, by the end of January of that month. Not that month. Of that year. But then, the fans kept saying, hey, January is almost up, where's the announcement? I think it wasn't until literally January 31st you made the announcement. Right? And those projects, you kind of just like, okay, we really need to announce something, let's do these. But like, James Gunn, why are you not... Hey, look, I think it worked, because I need 2 remaining. I think this one worked. Why are you not doing your big hitters first? Yes, you did Superman, but where's the Batman? Where's the Wonder Woman? Where's the Flash? Shit. Well, it's fine. Them fleeing still counts as getting rid of them, so, like, catching them. Getting rid of them one at a time, so it still counts. At least I hope so. I know you can't do Batman because of Matt Reeves, but like... Says who? David Zaslav? Is he even still at WB anymore? Anyways, so... And aside from the terrible news that Waller and Paradise Lost have been canceled, there's Supergirl Backlash happening now. I still haven't seen the movie, by the way. So, behind-the-scenes footage came out. I think posted by, like, Entertainment Weekly. I forget who posted it. Or was it Insider? No, it wasn't Insider. Whatever. Someone posted it, and they left in them behind the scenes using AI to come up with Lobo's design. What the fuck? Like, you have the comics to rely on. And, not gonna lie, Lobo isn't that hard to translate from comic to live action. It's like, what the fuck y'all doing using AI for Lobo? Now, the sad reality is, studios and movies are just gonna keep on using AI. We can hate on it all we want, but they're still gonna do it. Anyways, let's hurry up and talk about Dead City before I run out of time. Because I would like to go to bed. I need to work tomorrow. The stars have aligned and I don't need to work on my birthday. That's nice. My birthday's on a Saturday. We don't have a doctor that day, so I don't need to actually work. I could take that day off. Oh, the stars have aligned. Wait, hold on. Wait a second. I caught 3 just now. I think I'm done catching 3. I can still try again to get rid of 4, even though that doesn't really work. Anyway, so, Dead City, Season 3, Episode 3. Alright, we begin with Maggie going to visit Dillard's bar looking for Negan. He tells her about his cycle of life that sustains him, and it reminds her of Herschel. No, not her son, her father. Not only do we miss the character of Herschel, we also miss Scott Wilson. May he rest in peace. See, the Mime Jr.'s bugging out again. Anyways, so Dillard's walker begins ripping its own arm off at the seam. He wants to duct tape it back. He asks Negan to help, and Negan just says, no. So Maggie wanted to see Negan because she wants to tell him about the Dama killing herself. And of course Negan acts surprised. Like, he doesn't act like... Wait, he acts like he doesn't know anything. And, well, does this moment get brought up again? Not really. At least not in this episode. Maybe it will later on. Okay, they're not too close. She's also asking Negan to help them clear out Central Park for crops. They need to plant crops before winter comes. Instead, Negan wants Dillard to kill the very, very decomposed walker outside with, by the way, amazingly clean white eyes. Like, that walker is very decomposed. It is just, like, basically fused to the pavement. But that walker's eyes, man, it's like, it looks clean. It looks fresh. It looks fresher than the walker eyes we see later on in the same episode. Like, those eyes look human. Look alive. I don't think that was remotely close. Because if I got 3 and then 4 fled, there should be 2 remaining. And I think I see 4. Oh well, I don't even know what's happening anymore. Anyway, so yeah, Negan wants Dillard to kill that walker. To prove he's still a male human who can still get laid. Literally, Negan wants Dillard to kill this walker to prove he is indeed still a living, breathing human male who is still capable of getting laid. Your typical Negan sense of humor. Negan wants to know he can trust Dillard when shit hits the fan. Yeah, Dillard can't. He refuses to kill the walker. He then curses out Negan, claiming he was able to survive for years on his own. Well, right then, a flare fires up, signaling that a guard sees people approaching the island. We get a shot of the Manhattan Bridge, very destroyed. Remember what Armstrong said in the first season. Manhattan was one of the epicenters for the breakout, or the outbreak. So, to try to contain the spread, they bombed all the bridges leading in and out of Manhattan. I still don't see the millions of walkers that swarm the Manhattan streets, by the way. Anyway, so a big group arrive on the island shore, but they aren't hostile at first. In fact, most of them are very badly injured. They now have a lot of questionably good people who are in need of medical care. This group, Belleville, was attacked by another group out of Newark. You know, I just thought about this. Can you believe that, you know, these episodes that are actually good is in the same franchise as shitty episodes like Fear of the Walking Dead? Ain't it crazy? I already lost count how many I caught. Was that 2 or 3 that I just caught? Anyway, so they followed the light of the statue, hoping it was a signal of hope. But they also know that Newark will come for the island too. Louise has procedures in mind to help his patients, because majority of them are injured. Louise, taking the medical oath or whatever, will help these people. So Luis has procedures. He handcuffs down those potentially dangerous or unsavable. That's smart. Because if someone were to die, they'd be handcuffed down. So anyways, 3, what am I doing? Like, if I can't do this, then I need to move on to catching 4. Let's try that. Let's try catching 4. So Herschel meets a young man with a broken arm who looks a lot like Brenton Thwaites, and he has a single domino. Herschel would have no idea what dominoes are. Like, what the game actually is. Renata prepares for the threat of Newark, but instead of seeing a threat, she sees even more people injured. And they claim Belleville attacked them. Now, there are 2 feuding groups at war playing he said, she said. Because they have so little... Wait. Because they only have so many medical supplies, they are low on morphine and need alcohol for the pain. At first Negan says no, but then Dillard offers, so they go get the booze. Renata isn't a fan of how little Negan cares. Negan only thinks that they now have 2 conflicting groups who will kill each other while they are caught in the middle. I need to catch 4. I think that's 3? Is that 3? No, that was 4. Anyway, so, Negan pretty much says, save one group and you have their loyalty forever. Or, kill them all. Well, Renata said this. Renata said, or we could just kill them all. That'd be a solution. But then no one will plant the fields, fix the sewers, etc. So Renata isn't only thinking about protecting them today, she also has to think about the future, too. Okay, so 3 ran, so I should have 3 remaining. Renata needs all the facts before deciding what to do with the 2 groups. One patient from Newark isn't doing so good. Their leader, Claudia, who looks a lot like Lucienne, demands Louise help. I can't speak anymore. Wait, how many did I need? If I caught 4, did I even make any runaway yet? I don't even remember anymore. I don't think I did. So, caught 4, 2 are running away, I think. So now, there should be 4 more. Should be 4 more. Anyway, so Claudia demands Louise help her people instead, since he's been helping Belleville longer since they were here sooner. She grabs, what was it, scissors or scalpel or whatever, and threatens Louise. Dumbass move, threatening the people who are helping you and the only doctor. I think I messed up somewhere. The power keeps on coming in and out, keeps on blacking out. Maggie takes a chance to disarm Claudia. Now Claudia and Bauer, leader of Belleville, are restrained and being taken away. Negan takes the chance to take them for himself from the guards who are escorting them away. So, Negan, no, not Negan. Maggie and Louise help a guy named Ray. Louise is busy, so he needs to talk Herschel through his procedure. Herschel makes an incision on the guy's neck, just under the Adam's apple, slides a tube in to help him breathe. It's like, ugh. Makes me squeamish. I have no problem hacking someone to pieces to kill them, but when it comes to, actually helping them and doing medical procedures, like, ugh. Maggie watches, and she is so proud. Meanwhile, Ray passes out, but he's alive. So Maggie goes into the room where Renata is, and she is freaking out. Claudia almost killed her brother, their only doctor. She's also worried that both groups are bigger than theirs. What if they heal them and they attack them for the resources? Maggie power talks her that she will make the right choice despite how hard it is. Thankfully, Renata does not regret turning on the statue lights. Maggie walks by a patient who died and turned. Good thing she was handcuffed. So I only caught one so far. God damn it, I need to try to catch that Mr. Mime. Okay, since no one's running, let me try to reset. And how many was that? That was 3. Negan plays a game with Claudia and Bauer, who are both chained to the ceiling. He actually references Rick Grimes, sadly without saying his name. He just says he used to know this asshole who would ask 3 questions to decide if they stay in the community. Now we know what those 3 questions are. How many walkers have you killed? How many people have you killed? Why? But instead of asking the questions, Negan decides to play the game Pinata. He gives Dillard Lucille, blindfolds him, spins him around, and lets him loose. The idea is to have Dillard swing until one of them volunteers to take their group off Manhattan. And to make things worse, the power goes out. Negan tells them how they have power. From dead bodies. The dead fuel them. Neither want to volunteer. And Negan says a pretty hilarious line. He's just like, you'd rather have your kids power my Xbox than to squash their beef. Or to squash your beef. By the way, I think that was 2. So, caught 2, got rid of 2. Let's see if there's 4. Dillard gets super close with his swings. He's about to strike, but Negan stops the swing. That is not 2. Wait, what? I think 4? What? Hold on, I need to check if this is right. Because, yeah, catch 4, get rid of 2, catch 4. There is 4 here. Off-screen, Negan managed to learn neither are innocent. It's like, gee, no surprise there. The power goes out, and seemingly the backup power comes on, so something is wrong with the tanks. Negan and Dillard go check it out. Maggie hears a woman screaming, so she goes and checks it out. It's just a woman, you know, a woman freaking out that someone she knows isn't waking up. Herschel is trying his hardest to save this person's life. He even goes in to do mouth-to-mouth, but thank God Maggie stopped him. Because we saw exactly that happen in the torn-apart webisode. Ooh, imagine having the inside of your mouth eaten. And literally eaten. Your tongue bitten off. Ooh, one of the worst ways to die. Anyway, so catch 4, scare off 2, so wait, no. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so this one worked. I can cross this one off. Anyway, so Herschel does chest compressions, not giving up, which reminds Maggie of her father. And we get flashbacks to season 4 of Herschel. A very grainy flashbacks to season 4 with the very grainy footage shot on film. Especially when compared to the footage now that's shot digitally. So the patient dies and Maggie has to stab her in the head. No power, the ventilators are down, they need to ambu bag the patients. Maggie says she's done it once. She didn't say to who, but we know. She did it to Glenn. So one guy handcuffed to the bed wakes up alive, but his leg is being eaten by another patient who died. Oh, suddenly doesn't seem like the being handcuffed down is such a good idea anymore. Because now this patient is handcuffed, restrained to a bed, and he is literally being eaten. Thank God he was only being eaten on the leg, you know? If he was bitten anywhere else, then he would have been dead for no reason. And oof, that's gotta be rough too. Being literally eaten, torn apart, and you are handcuffed down. You are restrained. You can't even, like, fight back. That almost happened to Wyatt Russell's character in The Oath. Thankfully it didn't, though. And to stop the walker, Herschel just throws a scalpel at it, which was enough to pierce the head. Okay. So, Maggie right hooks the guy to spare him the pain of having his leg bone sawed off. Yo, this episode was very graphic. Not graphic in the way like, not graphic in the way of, you know, gore and having people ripped apart, but graphic in the sense of like so many medical procedures, you know? Alright, Negan and Dillard down where the tanks are. One guy is about to dump a body into the tank when the walker starts attacking. How do people still not double tap yet? I mean, for God's sake, this is one of the things that Zombieland actually got right. You always double tap, just in case. Double tapping is the difference between life and death sometimes. Like, if you're not sure if a walker is dead, stab it in the head again! If you're dumping bodies into tanks, why don't you have a knife nearby to stab them again to make sure? Better safe than sorry, right? Especially in this world, where if you're sorry, it means you're dead. Anyways, So both the guy and the walker fall into the green LED lit up tank of circulating water. I think I'm trying to get 3 to run, which I am nowhere close of. Negan tries to help, but the walker is close to biting him. That's when Dillard saves him by stabbing it, then stabs the guy who's already dead. He somehow died very quickly. It didn't even seem like he was bit. He kind of just was, like, foaming at the mouth. His eyes were bloodshot red, but, like, I don't know, kind of didn't look like he was bit. So Dillard has indeed proven Negan can trust him when shit hit the fan. Come on, man. I need 3 to flee. Let's count that as 3. Maggie asks a pissed off lady, can't she help? Instead of being upset at the rival group. Louise gets attacked by a walker. In the process, Louise is fine, but in the process, he knocks over a methane tank. He kills the walker, but needs to help a man handcuffed. A man handcuffed to a bed with another dead turned patient with only one handcuff to a bed creeping closer. Did that make sense? I don't think this is right, because if there was, I think there'd be 3 remaining. The methane tank fell right next to an outlet, which sparks a fire. Maggie needs to take care of the fire. And in doing so, the angry lady decides to help the patient. Anyways, hallelujah, there is light again. The power comes back on. Comes back on. Herschel finds a domino of the young man who died from a broken arm. And I'm just thinking, bruh, I said this ever since... shit, what was his name again? Ever since Julian died in Daryl Dixon. People just die too easily in this world. Dude died from a broken arm. Now Louise, you know, the actual medical expert, did say, like, he could have had an aneurysm, he could have had something else, like, we don't know. Anyway, so Louise, hilariously enough, also says, "What's up, Doc?" to Herschel. He would have no idea what that's from. Louise is proud of Herschel, though. Maggie, Negan, and Renata discuss Claudia and Bauer, who cannot put their war behind them. But Maggie actually brings up a pretty good point. Maggie says they 3 were enemies when they met, but the baby brought them together. They just need to give both sides something to fight for. So everybody at Central Park, Renata gives them a speech that they can take the sites to fight to the death or turn the land of Central Park from parkland into farmland. That together as one big group they can live. One by one people begin working on the fields. Claudia and Bauer are also unrestrained. But they don't last long. They actually fight to the death off screen. Well, at least their bodies will power Negan's Xbox. Maggie tells Herschel how proud she is watching him save lives. Tells him about his grandfather, who obviously he's named after. She even gives him Herschel's pocket watch, which was his father's and his father's before that. but for some reason doesn't say it was Glenn's. He doesn't tell Herschel this was your father's also. Like, I don't know why she didn't tell Herschel that the pocket watch wasn't only his grandfather's, but also his father's. I don't know. So Maggie and Renata have a drink together, enjoying the moment and being happy about the day they had. It wasn't perfect, but it was a big success. Maggie says that she's been in so many places that didn't make it, and this line actually makes me think. Did the Commonwealth fall? Like, did the Commonwealth fall? Because Maggie just seemingly refuses to talk about the Commonwealth. So that makes me worried, like, did the Commonwealth fall? She keeps on mentioning how Manhattan is special. It's not like anywhere she's been before. But, like, the Commonwealth was pretty good. In fact, the Commonwealth is obviously better than Manhattan now. Commonwealth already had power and shelter and a semblance of what society was beforehand. So that line makes me really worried. Did the Commonwealth fall also? Like, let's say if it did. What happened to our characters? What happened to characters like Ezekiel, Jerry, Father Gabriel, and more importantly, what happened to Judith and RJ? At this point in the timeline, Rick and Michonne should have already reunited with them. So what happened to the Commonwealth if something did happen to it? Anyways, whatever. So, Negan is working on making his own homemade booze. His own moonshine. Because one of the guys from Belleville knows how to. So Negan takes Dillard to his bar, which is now full of people. Full of lively people. It actually looks like a bar. It has power. It has patrons. It actually looks like a bar. So Negan wants to hook Dillard up. Wants to help get him laid. He decides to change his clothes first, smelling very methane-y. So Dillard goes to his room, and in his room he has a walker chained up. Of course, with its teeth and nails ripped out. And Dillard actually hears this walker speak to him. He wasn't kidding. He really can hear walkers talk to him. You know, walkers can't actually speak. It's more like Dillard lost his sanity over the years of isolation. But yeah, Dillard, in his room, has a walker chained up who he can actually understand, who he thinks is actually speaking to him. And, well, that's the end of the episode. I wonder when Negan finds out, he'll be like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? Man, all the characters, all the new characters this season, I like them all. I don't want to see any of them die. But that's like a specialty these spin-offs have. Any new characters, especially the likable ones, they always die. Well, I say always, but on Daryl Dixon, we haven't seen, we haven't seen Roberto or Justine die. At least, hopefully. I was about to say hopefully not yet, but, like, that's not right. Hopefully not ever. Fingers crossed, we just haven't seen them die yet. Wait. Okay, screw this. Let me try this again. God damn it, I need to work tomorrow. So tomorrow, as of me playing this, will be the release of Dead City Season 3, Episode 4, and Lanterns. I don't think I mentioned this yet. The early reviews are actually saying Lanterns is peak. Lanterns is a really good show. I actually love to hear it. The trailers made it look pretty shitty. The trailers made the show look actually not that good at all. But to hear some early reviews saying the show is great, it's actually peak, yo, that actually gives me hope. That gives me hope, you know, knowing that DC, their current state is very bleak. So I need to catch 4, don't forget. I almost actually teleported away. I don't even remember how many I need to get rid of. Caught 4. I need to get rid of 3 or 4. So 3, because the 4 won't even work. Nope, I'm not gonna risk this one. Motherfuck! That move is so annoying. Not only does it fucking chase you, but if you get hit by it, it actually knocks you off weirder. It is so annoying. I swear to God, if it looped around and still hit me, I would have been pissed. Okay, let's try 4. How did I get 4? How did I manage to get 4 before 3? Hold on, let me check. So there's 3 remaining. Is that right? Catch 3? No, it's not. Catch 4. Get rid of 4. There should be 2 remaining. So that's only 2 caught. Three. And 4. Crap. Alright, I need 3 to run. Bro, why is it so hard to get 3 to run? I'm not gonna risk that one. The fact that we still haven't gotten 3 to run is astounding. What the hell? This is ridiculous. The hell? What the fuck? All that time wasted. And something gets screwed up. Okay, well, I'm gonna call it for today. I need to go to bed. I need to work tomorrow. Bye, everyone.